Oh my god, I hope what? I don't know how to feel about this one. Look at it. They're so small. Yeah, they can give you some amazing celestial cards, but look at they're so small. Yeah, they can block attackers sometimes, but and then what? Then their attacker is probably alive and ready to punch you in the face. Look, I'm Patinator. This is Legends of Runeterra. We're talking Call of the Mountain, but I'm also very concerned because aggro exists. It's a part of life, like taxes, death, and apparently the coronavirus or strongman governments. The point is, I'm not a fan of this. I love the idea, don't get me wrong. I am a classic Timmy. Me play big boys, me smash them good has always been one of my styles of play, but usually you're playing something more relevant. With each card that these invoke, by the way, there's a new mechanic, Invoke. Pick a celestial card from among 3 to create in hand, so it's like their own version of Discovery or Create. They just give you the opportunity to play with a big card rather than improving the ability of the big card most of the time. There are some notable exceptions. I know I sound like a real downer about it, but this is probably the least excited I've been since looking at Call of the Mountain. Let's take a look at the cards. Spacey Sketcher. I mean, can make this bigger. It can make this bigger. Holy cow. There we go. Spacey Sketcher. 1/1/1. Play, discard a card to invoke a celestial card that costs 3 or less. Now that's interesting. We'll talk about the celestial cards in a bit because there's like 21 of them. It combos with discard effects from Noxus and Piltover. Unfortunately, Piltover and Noxus want each other to maximize the value of playing extra units as well as get the 2 champions that support a discard theme the most. Those champions being Draven and Jinx. So I don't know where Targon's gonna fall into that, but it's got synergy. It's also 1/1, and that feels terrible because there's a lot of 1/2/1 cost units and a lot of 2/2/1 cost units that can become free permanently and temporarily. So yeah, you played that 1/1, but you didn't buff your next 2 plays the way a burb does. You did not. I want to look at good things about this. It just, nothing feels good because at the bare minimum, I feel like a viable unit should meet some form of stat standard, and a 1 cost 1/1 that is exactly that much value, and to get even more value off it, you need to pay more mana so you can cast the invoke card. Feels quite terrible. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I just don't think I am. Denari Priestess, 3/2/1 Nightfall Invoke. So first you cast another spell, then you get you invoke a celestial card, which can the cost of which can range from 0 to 10, so it might not even be playable soon. So the earliest you can play this is, well, 3, because you might have some spell mana over from 1 and 2 to buff it up. It's still a 2/1 card. It can be easily killed by a lot of 1 damage cards, which is fine because you don't really need it to stay for its ability to be a thing. It's 2/1. Actually, of the cards here that I'm complaining about, this is the one I'm probably going to complain about the least, because a free cost unit with 2 attack, while unable to block fearsome, can still kill a lot of 3 and 2 cost units, so it can still trade across if absolutely necessary. So it's not too terrible, and it gives you an extra card. So I guess a control deck is what would enjoy these cards. Like, you just play these cards in the early game and like, yeah, but now I have a random assortment of hopefully good cards that I just created out of nowhere in the hopes that I have a later game, or hope that I have synergies with them. I guess that's where this is going. Okay, the Solari Priestess hurts my soul. She's free cost 1/2, like a 1 cost unit should be statted, and it's Daybreak. Invoke a celestial card that costs 4, 5, or 6. Now that's good. The 4, 5, and 6 cards can be pretty brutal, especially the 6 cost ones. The higher it gets, the more explosive these guys get. And I do like my muscle ladies. It's just that they're also 1/2. Playing this into anything free cost feels terrible. And then there's like a new keyword, Fury. Like a unit gains +1/+1 whenever they kill something. So they introduced a bunch of tiny units that develop value later, and introduced in the same set a bunch of units that love picking on smaller units to make themselves bigger. So Okay, this one I'm actually kind of a fan of. Well, no, I'm actually not a fan of this. Could you at least make the Mountain Scryer free? Because right now it's a 4-cost 2 free unit. And you know what? Making your Celestial cards cost 1 less might be good. But it does also need Allegiance to Invoke. Okay. It's alright. It does provide extra value outside of it just getting an Invoke card. Why? What am I? Am I taking crazy pills? Am I have a problem? Do I have a... Am I just missing something? Moondreamer's okay. Of all the cards here, this might be the second most okay next to the Mountain Scryer because it's 5 cost, 5 play, Invoke. 5 defense is okay. It can block a lot of units, and you can't really... There's 5 cost, 5 units are kind of a premium, and it is a common, so I don't expect it to be that amazing. Anyway, there's also Behold the Infinite, I guess, 2 burst Invoke. That exists. Let's take it. Oh my god, that's a lot of Invoke cards. Alright, I'll do these all in one sentence, because, I mean, some of them are exciting, but most of them, I'm excited about Aurelion's Soul, don't get me wrong. I love the Boop Dragon, but the Invoke part is not that exciting for me. So far, I'm probably wrong. I just don't think I am. Okay, for the 0-cost ones, there's always 1 spell and 1 unit per mana cost of Celestial cards you could get. So first is Moonlight. It's a burst spell, but reduces the cost of a card in hand by 1. That's actually pretty good. That is pretty solid. It's not like have one of your big champions come in a bit earlier. The Serpent, also good. 0/2/1 Challenger, can kill anything up to a 3. Fantastic. Okay, for the 1-cost ones, we have Equinox, slow, silence a follower. It's permanent, that's good. And the Charger, 1/4/1 Overwhelm. Good for a bit of extra damage, especially good on your turn. Actually, that's a really big unit for its cost. For 2, Moonglow, slow, grant an ally +0/+2 and spell shield. Because that's what you want in a... Oh no, it's permanent. Wait, is this... Spell shield is for the round. Spell shield is for the round. But the +2 is permanent, so that's pretty good. And, oh, I like this guy. It's a Star Doggo. It's the Messenger. It's 2/2/2. When I'm summoned, draw 1. So at least the Celestial cards appear to be on value. So you play a poor value card to eventually maybe get a relevant big value card. Oh boy. This I'm interested in for Yasuo reasons. 3, Crescent Strike. Slow, stun 2 enemies. That's huge. That's a massive tempo play on offense or defense. Like, you are done doing anything this round. Anyway, this is the Joker or the Trickster. I want to say it's the Trickster. The one I saw said it was the Trickster. Free evasion, because we haven't learned our lesson about free cost units with free attack and evasion. Although this one certainly is not going to come in as consistently as the other one from Hammerdinger. 4 cost, written in the stars. Wait, can we make this bigger? No, we can't. Oh, yeah, sure we can. Boop, boop. 4 cost, written in the stars, burst, draw champion, reduce its cost by 1, and grant it +2/+2. Big fan of this, except the fact that it's 4 cost, so you can't use it for spell mana, which is probably smart. So you can have free spell mana, play this, and still be able to play a slightly larger champion on curve. Let's say you're trying to play a Garen. You have 5 mana available plus free spell mana. You play Written in the Stars. You get the Garen. He's now, what, 7/7? Permanently, and costs 4. So you can play it because you'd have enough mana. It's strictly okay. It might be a Fizz combo card or a Teemo combo card. Who knows? The Traveler, which is not how you spell that. 4, 4, play Invoke. Wow, you get to play another small unit on 4 to try to roll the dice again. Wow. 5, Meteor Shower, slow, deal 4 to an enemy and 1 to another. So it's 5 damage for 5, which isn't bad, and can serve as removal. This will accidentally make early Celestial games look like they were intentionally smart, because you're gonna block with a bunch of units that have low attack, and this can finish off the cards for you. So now you've played... Oh my god, I can't even convince myself that that's good. The Warrior, 5/5/5 Challenger. We have this in Demacia, except it's 4, has a Last Breath ability. I mean, it has 1 less defense, I guess, but it also has Challenger. But it is a Celestial card, and there's a lot of cards that proc off Celestial, so maybe this isn't as bad as I'm making out to be. Again, strictly meh. Oh, 6 onwards though gets a little crazy. Comets, or Comet Strike, or Comet. I want to say just Comet because it's a 6-cost slow spell that just obliterates an enemy, and obliterate means it just dies. There's no saving it. It doesn't activate Last Breath. It's just Bingo bongo, you were a gunner. But Obliterate is in a whole different tier. It can get rid of a lot of problematic champions, and there are a lot of problematic champions. Leona, Sejuani, just get rid of them. Just be done with it and remove them. Always a fan of big removal. Unfortunately, it is slow, but I think anything more than that, if it were fast, we'd have problems with the card. So I like it. The Golden and Silver Sisters are at 6. You get the Golden Sister and you summon the Silver Sister when you play it. It's a 6-cost lifesteal 4-free unit that summons a 6-cost 4-free elusive unit. I kind of like it. It's 8-6 total worth of stats. One that can get you out of trouble, which you almost certainly will be in if you play a dedicated Invoke deck, which I think you shouldn't. That's probably going to be my say on Invoke. Don't play it dedicated to Invoke. Play it as a support for something else, and maybe it'll be good. Cosmic Inspiration 7. Slow. If you behold a Celestial card, which is you have a Celestial card in hand or in play, give all allies everywhere +2/+2 restore spare mana. Not bad. I kind of like it. It's a little slow at 7, but it's also... it's a massive buff. Everywhere does mean even your created cards get it, so that could be interesting for all of your other Celestial cards you have if you're alive with 7 spell mana and you can afford to play it. If you can afford to do essentially nothing on your turn, and maybe turn 4, which is the earliest you can play this, you're probably doing alright. This does feel like a really good counter to a slow deck, because you might be able to play Cosmic Inspiration against a control deck. They're very slow. They want to get to a big play, not smash you down early. And Cosmic Inspiration says, well, now I'm going to outvalue you. And a control deck's going to go, well, you're going to punch me in the face. The Destroyer, 7/7/7, Overwhelm and Spell Shield. When I summon, grant me +1/+0 for each Celestial card you played this game. I guess that's a good reason to play deep into the Celestials, but I'd also take him at just 7/7. I don't even necessarily want him to combo with anything. Maybe he's just big, and I'm for it. Like, he is on par, existing as he is, without the text. So, of the Celestial cards so far, Comets and the Destroyer seem like the most amazing ones, and I just got a message from something. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna mute my phone now. I'm pretty sure that's not a name. It's Tomb of the Universe. Universal Tomb? End of the Universe? That looks like a black hole. It's slow. It's 8. If you behold a Celestial card, obliterate all units with 3 or less power. Because, you know, the 10 cost unit from Freljord was eminently playable. But the thing with Tomb of the Universe is you can play it on turn 5 because of spell mana. So this could be good if you have more Celestial cards in hand. Interesting stuff. The Immortal of Fire, I think that's a Phoenix. I'm pretty sure that's not a translation for an Ever. I should have picked a different image. Anyway, it's the 8-cost 6/5 unit that is elusive, and when it's summoned, grant me +1/+0 for each Celestial card you played this game. The first time I would die, fully heal me. Instead, kind of excited for this because it is an elusive Tryndamere, and Tryndamere is a nightmare, but it doesn't take up a champion slot. Sorry, Tryndamere. Supernova 9 slow. If you behold a Celestial card, obliterate 2 enemies. I don't think I have to tell you how exciting the ability to remove 2 big units is. For 9, extremely useful if you're choking out the other guy with control, which I guess this has to be, because it can't be aggro. The Great Beyond, 9/8/8, whew, that's a lot of stuff. It's elusive, it has Fury, which means when it kills something, it gets +1/+1 permanently, and it has Spell Shield, so it's extra hard to kill. When I summon, grant me +1/+0 for each Celestial card you played this game, so it's very big, elusive, and hard to target. You need an elusive card to block this, the Great Beyond. Which is interesting, is that does say this is a legit finisher. Also, it's a dragon, for reasons that will be relevant later. Living Legends at 10. It's a burst card, which is a bit of a shocker. I think that's a burst symbol, right? Fill your hand with random fleeting Celestial cards, fill your mana. Pretty good. You get Celestials and you get the mana to play with them immediately. I mean, it is random, and I believe the announcement is that Celestial cards costing 5 or less are weighted 5 times as much as the ones 6 to 10. So, well, who knows if that's gonna be a good card. I mean, it's gonna be exciting. You're gonna get like highlight reel footage of Living Legends giving them exact lethal. Maybe that's the exciting thing that you want to see in a card game. The Scourge 10, Challenger 10/10. When I'm summoned, grant me +1/+0 for each Celestial card you played this game. Attack, give other allies +2/+2 and overwhelm this round. Great Beyond and Scourge are great finishers. Like, if they land and get to do anything, you kind of win the game. Not bad. He's gorgeous. He really actually is gorgeous. Let's take a look at Aurelion Sol, who is 10 cost 10, the highest cost champion now. Sorry, Tryndamere, this is just not your set. He's got Fury, he's got Spell Shield, and when you play him, you invoke a celestial card that costs 7 or more. Now that's interesting, because the 7 cost cards are amazing. You can make everything bigger, all the units are game-ending units. All the abilities, all the spell cards are also basically game-ending or create such a massive advantage that it may as well be game-ending, except maybe Tomb the Universe. So Aurelion's really powerful. You can play him alone because of his level up condition, which we'll get to. At the round start, you create a random celestial card in hand. So he's an engine creation. He's an engine. The longer he stays on the board, the more relevant he becomes because he just keeps giving you more value. At the start of the round, you create a random celestial card in hand. So what I like about Aurelion Sol is that he has an immediate impact. He's big, he's hard to kill, he's a growing threat, and he creates even more threats for you on and on. So when he levels up at round end, your allies have 20 or more total power, which is important because he doesn't care whether it's celestial allies. But he's 11-11 now. Same play effect, invoke a celestial card that costs 7 or more. Round start, create a random celestial card in hand, and your celestial cards cost 0. So this is brutal. The thing with his level up ability is that you're already winning, right? If you have 20 or more power on your side of the board, it feels like you've already won, because that's a lot of power, right? This does close things out hard. Like the moment he wakes up, like what's the other guy gonna do? There's a very big dragon who can make even more celestial cards, and all the celestial cards you have are free. So fun, but I'm having trouble believing he's going to be super competitive. And I hope I'm wrong. Anyway, there's also the Infinite Mind Splitter. It's one of his support cards. 888 Fury. Amazing name. Amazing art. When you play him, you pick 2 enemies and you stun them at the start of the round. So you lock down 2 enemies permanently. And here's another dragon. Invoke, Vox, a very threatening name to be sure. 656 Fury. When an ally with Fury kills an enemy for the first time each round, create a random dragon in hand. Value generation, not bad. It's an epic. It's also at 6. Gives you more options in the endgame. I am not opposed to this card, and I'll probably find room in a dragon deck. Star Shaping Burst, 5. Invoke a celestial card. It costs 7 or more when heal an ally or your next is 5. So it's got great value already. You're guaranteed a highly valuable celestial card, and you get to stay alive. I'm actually a big fan of this card. Aurelion Sol's The Sky's Descent, which implies there's a normal Sky's Descent. 15 is the most expensive card now. Slow. Deal 15 to all enemies. Cost 2 less for each dragon or celestial ally you have. Shuffle an Aurelion Sol in your deck. Now this could justify running a full celestial deck. Because you have a massive damage-based board clear. Messenger's Sigil. 1 burst. Shuffle the 5 messengers into your deck. I don't know what that is. Oh wait, we do know what. No, you do know what that is. It's this guy. What? I kind of like that. Just 1, it creates celestial cards. That's the important part. It creates a cheap celestial card that draws 1. It's like a bunch of, I want to say Shadow Assassin, that Ionia card that used to be 2/2, 3 cost, elusive, and draws you a card. Now you get 5 of them in your deck, and they're celestials, which means they proc celestial abilities. You know what? This is a good card. I like this card. It gives me doggos and furthers a strategy without, it removes a bit of the randomization. Look, there's nothing wrong with randomization. Card games are inherently random. Maybe the wide variance in randomization could be problematic in that there's a lot to guess. But still, I want to reduce randomization as much as possible in the way I play, so that I can predict what's going to happen and make jokes appropriately. It's a doggo card, so I like it. Oh yeah, there's more, I guess. Like to cap it off, we also got Fury. When I kill a unit, grant me +1/+1, and we got a bunch of Fury cards. Herald of Dragons, Targon. Dragon allies cost 1 less. 2 cost 1/1. I'm okay with this. I mean, it's small, but it is an engine, so it needs to be small and removable by removal cards. Like, you know, that thing that creates spiders, because that card's kind of busted. Low-key busted. Makes dragons cheaper. And when these dragons are cheaper, they're actually super valuable. Imagine a 9-cost Aurelion Sol. Now, that's terrifying. Anyway, White Flame Protector, 4/4 Fury. Very basic card, but very strong if it were 3 cost. Fused Firebrand, Fury and Spell Shield, 5/5/5. Love this card. The spell shield forces the opponent to handle it in combat, and 5-cost 5/5s, as I've said before, are kind of at a premium. They're not exactly common, although this card is common, and you're probably going to get value off the Fused Firebrand, especially if you play it at 4 because of the Herald of Dragons. Herald of Dragons feels like a must kill. Oh wow, Demacia has a dragon, 5-cost, 4/5, Challenger Fury. Like it. It challenges so it can find a tiny unit to start building up its offense and defense and fury. And it couldn't come down at 4, which means it's on par with that 5/4. Yeah, we're always going to compare it to that elite guy, right? Because he's really good. He replaces himself and he's a challenger, but this guy gets bigger. At 5, he's strictly meh. Unlike the White Flame Protector and the Fused Firebrand, which I'd say are good at their cost, especially the Fused Firebrand, the Screeching Dragon is strictly bad at 5, but amazing at 4. Also, there's a Dragon's Clutch. That's a burst card. 3, draw 2 different dragons or grant dragon allies +1/+1. This is the least exciting. I mean, the invoke parts do not excite me as much, and it's not the randomization, I swear. I don't care about that as much as I used to. It's the fact that the base units, the starter units for it, look awful. And yes, like, if he doesn't punch me in the face really hard, maybe I'll get to play a good card. And you're not even sure if you're gonna get to play that good card because you might not get a good option. I don't know how to feel about this. I feel tepid. Tepid is the word. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We're one day closer to Targon, and I think there's one more set of reveals left, and then we'll have the whole set. And we'll begin streaming again on release, or at least the Friday, I think Thursday for you guys, depending on time zones. And we'll begin streaming again. It'll be Legends of Runeterra. We're going to try to not obsess over Leona. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Patinator. I'll see you later.